you say the moo button?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set in Odessa the Dark Crusade, Season 2. Tonight, we set the scene within the Court of Lysia, with its host, Saladrin, and his many guests, on yet another night in the tumultuous capital of the region. And yes, that is honestly it. How is court progressing? What is everybody doing? What is the keeper doing?
The keeper is currently sitting behind his desk that he has located right next to the door. This evening, they will be playing. You know what? Fuck it. This evening there's going to be pan flute music playing because it sounds delightful. If anyone thinks that pan flute music does not sound delightful, they may get the fuck out of my Elysium. The keeper, the standard entertainments have been laid on, so men and women dressed in fine attire wend and weave their way through the crowded gatherings of the kindred of Odessa, offering delightful delectations in the form of sweetmeats, fruit, wine, etc., in order to tantalize the tastes of those who have opted to join us for the evening. The keeper welcomes everyone as they come in from his seated position, and as always, you are asked to leave any ghouls outside. There will be a new proviso, as a matter of fact, that I shall make a note of. You will also be very politely asked to. Just stand briefly as you enter, just to make sure that there is no blood magic shenanigans, because we don't like shenanigans. No shenanigans. But everyone is welcome to come in.
Aldrich looks at what is it called? The police barricade, as it were, for blood magic, and just kind of turns and leaves.
You know what? Because I'm a cool guy, and this is just funny. A small handwritten letter will be given to Aldrich as he is about to leave.
He's not actually. I'm sorry. I was taking the piss, as they say it.
Oh right. Well, there's still going to be a small handwritten letter for Aldrich.
There's like a Sadite who like just points Aldrich to a sign on the wall, and he's like, "Look at that! It says no Tremere."
No. Let's be fair. Let's be fair here. It says no dogs, no ghouls, no Tremere. At least be right. Jesus.
Big oof.
Big oof.
There is a small letter for Aldrich. Nice little neat little letter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you open the letter?
Yeah.
It basically says that you are how to phrase this. In a spirit of friendship between the clans Setite and clan Tremere, you are more than welcome to simply enter. There will be no scrutiny. A similar letter will be handed to any member of Clan Tremere this evening.
Aldrich will smirk at the letter. He'll be very smug at the letter, and fold it up and tuck it into his robes very proudly.
Unfortunately, Al-Qadir, there will be a cavity, sir. Nobody's joking.
When Al-Qadir goes to the entrance and sees you, there is a very obvious, not even trying to hide it, look of disgust on his face, but
as Al-Qadir enters, just one moment. Bishop, I need a ruling from you.
Yes.
I take it that blood magic and other weird woods does show up under aspects.
If you possess any form of blood magic, it would show up under all specs. Yes, it's actually kind of indistinguishable from true magic and how it shows up under aura perception. One sec.
Cool.
It shows up as myriad sparkles if you possess magical powers. So anything from Form of Liturgy to Atomite Sorcery to Hedge Magic to True Magic.
And you only sparkle if you're currently under a magical effect, yeah?
Though,
no, it's if you possess the ability.
Also, I'd assume that any items you have on you that are directly imbued with it would also have a little bit of a sheen to it.
that would be
Maybe if you try to perceive their auras.
Though I have a question. I am an Atomite Sorcerer. My flaw is my aura is extremely visible. So
Sparkle Wonderland.
no, that's the Atomite flaw. For sorcerers is if anybody basically has aspects, they can always find us. We glow like a sun. Our spiritual and magical effects are highly vibrant and easily seen.
Cool. In that case, yeah. The keeper will smile as Al-Qadir approaches, the kind of the welcoming, hostly. Yes, he will reach out his hand for Al-Qadir, like as in to shake his.
Oh,
He will raise his hand in a polite gesture of declination, but he will nod in acknowledgement.
The keeper's eyebrow quirks at the the decline to shake hands, before he will smile again, and he will say, "Bygones are oftentimes bygones, my dear Al-Qadir."
And he will say, "Things take time to heal, but I appreciate your gesture."
Yes. I assure you, the Setite heart is well healed. Your offense has been forgotten. We welcome you as a brother.
How kind of you.
He will step back and let you into the room.
And he will look at him, though he'll do his best not to mean mug him as he walks past them. Though I do remember the rule says you are allowed to carry weapons on you, correct?
Yeah, you are allowed to carry weapons.
You will see 2 blades onto his hip, but he will continue to walk.
Okay. I'm just gonna have a quick little look at those blades because I can. Also, because magical enchantments on weapons are a thing. Successes, Bishop. 2 successes. Is that enough to see any enchantment that would be on a sword? Because I have blood magic.
it's a burning blade. I gave it to him.
No, he didn't. You give me a burning blade.
No, I didn't.
I found the ones that I have.
Oof.
So, Bishop, do I see if it is a magical effect on the sword?
Who you are perceiving, the person or the sword?
The sword. Because I failed at perceiving the person.
You shouldn't be able to fail then.
Yeah, if
I automatically perceive it apparently because of his weird flaw.
Yeah.
But
wait a second. Wait a second. I'm not sure how true that is.
Not for items, but ask myself. We glow, like a said. We glow.
I know it's a lot easier. I'm not sure if it's automatic. One sec, because
it's like 2 difficulties easier, if I remember exactly.
Yeah, but difficulty can't get 11 free, so.
Yeah, but I don't know if it says for that affects it. I know for a fact it's the Asimoids themselves.
Okay, where did I go down? Where are Asimoid sorcerers in this goddamn book? Here we go. So sorcerer weaknesses. All mystical attempts to determine magic use or honor around the character are made at -2 difficulty and are considered 2 levels higher for the purposes of opposed powers and rolls. So I mean, What would that make your def if you -2?
I mean, he would succeed on both of his rolls rather stunningly. It would make it a difficulty because he's rolling a difficulty 6 because it's 8 minus his Auspex level of 2, which is 6 minus 2 again, which is difficulty 4.
I thought Orsight stays at a standard 8, but it would be 2 points lower being a 6.
It does. Basically, Auspex actually applies to Auspex related things. So essentially, because it's a perception roll, the Auspex actually applies to the perception roll as well.
That's true.
So so I succeed in both. Obviously, looks like an Assamite sorcerer. So blazy bright. And does the sword look inherently magical?
I guess technically it is. It's my sword, so I didn't make it. So that's the only thing I have to say to that.
Okay, but I mean, there's a magical effect on it.
Yeah, there is a magical effect on one of the swords.
Cool. Solidrin will very calmly make a note in his ledger. That is all. He will then turn as he sees Aldrich approach, and he will offer a bow. He will then snap his fingers, and
I thought he already went by. He got a nice letter.
Oh no, that was when you were physically okay. Cool. He will. Aldrich will notice in that case that there is a very fine goblet of wine that has been dispatched to him.
He will smile and pleasantly take it with a kind word of thanks.
Wonderful, civilized, I say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just need to dip out for a second, guys. I need to go to the bathroom, so I'll be back in a sec.
What is Madeleine doing?
Well, she's made a point of making time in her night for this, and she's just now arriving, and yeah, she will just walk in. She's clearly not armed with anything. She will just. Oh, I don't know if she will be searched or anything, but she'll just walk in.
While he's gone, scurry past. Get through this gap. No.
Yeah. She's like.
Alcadir will wave at Madeline as he notices her.
There's a polite smile and a nod. She's a bit ways off. I will give the good keeper a chance to tackle her as she enters. I don't know. But just like do his best linebacker maneuver. Yeah, it's clear that she looks at Ulrich, and people gathered, and yeah, she seems calm. She seems her normal self, a light smile, and just seeming to. Well, she doesn't seem too tense. She seems as though she might want to just enjoy the evening. Who knows?
Didier will notice Audrich's presence, but he won't wave in comparison to Madeline, but will nod his head in acknowledgement of his presence.
He'll raise a glass. It's a subtle one, not a Gatsby raise of the glass, but still a little something.
Madeline will come over to Alcadir. She'll just say, "Ah. So I assume you and our good keeper have buried the hatchet?"
For now, at least. And he will look to one of the swords on his hip, and we'll just kind of look at it for a brief moment, and look back to Madeline. I may be giving him a present this evening without any pranks this time. How have you been, Madeline? You've been silent of recent.
I have been traveling.
I see. Well, I hope your travels went well.
Oh, they did. I visited 2 other princedoms.
I see.
Different business. A certain favor I had to do for one, something I needed to see to myself. Different things. That is why I have not been heard or seen for what was it? A week? A bit longer, I think, than a week. Have you missed me that dearly?
Excuse me. Again, excuse me. So you're somebody that has the right to be noticed.
That is one way to put it. I wonder though. I have heard of these appearances, but not that much else since I got back.
We have had quite a bit of unfortunate things happening to us these recent nights. The war, the missing Canaanites. There's also a death of a particular religious figure.
Among the mortals.
He was the highest praised rabbi within the Jewish faith. I've heard great much about him.
Well, that is disturbing.
Especially how the attack was described. Apparently, no one saw the assailant as the rabbi, as far as we know, has been kidnapped and his wife nearly decapitated. So, we are looking into it, but we have our suspicions.
I see.
Just unfortunate, yet another dark cloud hangs over Edessa. And I was hoping for a longer period of peace.
Oh, it's, actually, the mention of that material, Aldrich is still wearing a a symbol, as many Canaanites have for the death of this prominent figure. He's still wearing it. It's pinned on his robes. His very fine robes.
Kira will take notice of that since he didn't realize it earlier. And his look to Aldrich is much softer than it was before. And we'll just simply say, thank you for honoring him.
He'll approach the group a little more, and be a little more inclusive and say, yes, of course. He was a fine member of the community and one that will be dearly missed.
I only wish that it wasn't so violent. If he died naturally in his sleep, it would have been a much calmer passing. And what happened to his wife is abhorred.
I personally am Solidrum will say as he ambles over to the conversation. I'm still holding out hope for his safe return. After all, I've placed a rather large sum of money in the hope of encouraging individuals to bring him back safely.
You and an entrepreneur has done so.
And by other entrepreneur, you mean me?
Out of character, the Facebook post didn't say your name, so
It didn't.
That's the point.
Yeah.
But Solidrin is saying, no, that's me.
Oh, okay. So, realization you took on a different form and did that. Okay, that makes way more sense. Yeah. Okay.
MA can in fact confirm is in fact me.
No, I did not know that. I didn't see your name. I didn't say, illusionary Saladrin. It's like, oh, I'm something. Okay, I guess it's a new NPC. So never mind. Then he will just nod to that. When you take notice of our group, Al-Qadir will look at one of the swords, then look at you, and then raise his hand to, gather your attention.
The attention flicks, like, in the very kind of serpentine kind of eye go to thing kind of way.
And once he feels there's a confirmation of, that attention, he will rise from his sitting place and walk over to Saladrin, though he will stop making sure there is space between them. And he will say, though, his voice sounds a little harsh. It was wrong of me to be less friendly to our to our situation at this moment. Do please forgive me. And he will not remove it from the sheath, but pull one of the swords off his hip and present the blade to Saladrin.
Saladrin looks down at the blade. MA, I'm not sure how much you were here, but what was the name of your Assamite NPC? Please, helps.
Hebony?
Oh, yeah, Hebony.
Hebony, thank you. He will say, Mistress Hebony has already expunged any ill feeling I may have possessed towards you, darling Al-Qadir. He will take the sword, and he will say, in my culture, this has a significant onus, shall we say. I will take it in the spirit I believe it is offered.
And he will nod and say, no pranks this time. And be wise not to open it in here.
He contemplates that, and he will say, in future, as I respect that this is a symbol of peace, not a symbol of war, and a symbol of friendship.
That it is.
Indeed.
A proper blade for a proper warrior.
He will raise a finger and he will say, I will warn you, however. In future, if you wish to bring items like this into Elysium, if you wish to bestow items like this, I would recommend you receive the permission of the keeper before bringing them inside. It is technically a breach of the Prince's Elysium.
And he will nod to that.
But it is received well, and I thank you.
I am happy that you're willing to accept it.
He will nod. He will turn, and he's going to walk back to his desk for a few minutes. So feel free to talk amongst yourselves. He's going to kind of put it in a drawer or something because he doesn't really carry it around.
And he'll return back to the group and sit down.
The Elysium is silent.
Pan flutes everywhere. Continue.
Yeah, the Elysium is not silent. There is the lovely sound of pan flutes. Someone will walk in. It's probably the second cult I've ever been to. Looking fairly simply dressed, a bit scruffy and unkempt. With with strange bright blue eyes. She kind of creeps on in unceremoniously.
As the keeper is kind of standing by his desk at the moment, which is right next to the door, he looks up and he says, "Good evening.
Hello,
Who might you be?"
I am Amelie.
He kind of looks down his register of names. Names.
You work your way down these names and this isn't a one you've really visited ever, actually. You haven't.
I'm pointing out that he has a register, basically his register of names. He has one at his
Oh, yeah.
desk and there's one at,
So
which is all the recognized kindred in the domain.
you go down your list, and you stop at Amelie because she's actually on the list. You certainly don't recognize her within Elysium, though. She's probably the first time that you can remember, by both appearance and name.
What clan is she? Because that's also on my little list. If it's public, if it's a matter of public record.
She's That's one sec.
Clan Bali.
Get the gun. Get the shotgun right now.
Wait, we have shotguns?
But shotguns don't exist. Invent one and get it.
She is listed under Ravnos.
Good. He will look up and he will say, "Welcome to Elysium. Welcome to Elysia, my dear. I trust that you are well this evening."
Yeah, it's a little bit rough out there, but I'm fine. So, yeah, I hope you are having a good time too, Keeper.
Rough in what manner?
Oh, the violence and all that, and burning fields and all the horrible, violent things that people always do because they're violent and horrible, and I don't really know why, but it's not very it's not very nice. So I kind of avoid it, but I've seen my fair share of it. So.
Well, there is no violence here, and be welcome in these halls. Take refreshments, etc.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. Have a good evening, Keeper of Elysium, and thank you. Yes. Cheer. And she wanders off. She wanders into the Elysium. Aldrich, you definitely recognize this person.
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah, everybody can roll perception awareness on her, by the way, as well. Difficulty 5. Let me double check.
You say everybody?
Everybody who looks upon her.
Ha ha ha, that's sweet, sweet difficulty 3 because prospects.
Perception what?
Awareness.
5 successes.
Okay, I'll just let everybody roll. And I'll give you all your district. Oh wow. 5.
3.
Be magical up in this bitch. We see things.
All the things.
I have 2.
You got 3. It's difficulty 5.
Oh yeah, 3.
Okay, so I think the minimum amount of successes people got was 3, and I think everybody else got 5. So for the people who got 3, yeah, that her eyes are pretty clearly unnatural in nature. They're very distinctive. They seem to be almost luminous, and they're just a slightly unnatural shade of blue. Like it's not. You get people with blue eyes, but this is an unnatural degree of bright and blue, and they seem to again give us a sort of a very very vague low luminous glow. You probably wouldn't be able to see it properly under torchlight, but when she kind of steps into the shade, it becomes fairly apparent.
Would it be in the description like iridite? Like in that shade of blue, her eyes.
Tech. No. Let me find it's. More like turquoise.
Okay, that's even odder.
Yeah, turquoise blue. So very, yeah, very bizarre eye color. And the glowing aspects, while unnatural, the Ancilla have probably seen a canine with glowing eyes in the past, but they're always yellow or red. They're not blue.
And don't they typically stick out? Like they actually almost shine like torchlight.
Yeah. Well, not like torchlight. It has a similar glowing to the luminescence that this canine seems to possess. She does have healthy looking skin though. Very much as a blush of health.
Solidrin contemplates instituting a dress code. Solidrin then contemplates the fact he would have to buy clothing for the Nosferatu. Solidrin banishes the concept of a dress code.
It's like, yeah, no, that doesn't work. Nah.
Alkadir will, I guess, as he takes notice of this woman. Is there anything else outside of, I guess, looking quote unquote poor?
Not really. She's fairly easy on the eyes. She looks not rugged, but outdoorsy. She looks physically fit.
Well, since I'm supposed to be somewhat at the face of Asimite, I will stand and present myself to her.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
Hello. And he will do a slight bow. I'm Alkadir of Clan Asimite. And you are?
Oh, okay. She does a kind of bow, not really. It seems like she doesn't really understand how this works. Hi, I'm Amelie. Nice to meet you.
And he will nod. I haven't seen your face before. Are you?
No, I haven't really gotten out. Well, I have gotten out a lot, but not. Well, it's kind of weird actually. I think I do get out where you normally go, but we just don't really run into each other.
You will kind of look at her a little confused with that last statement.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of stay away from like courts and whole public stuff. Though, you know, I kind of just do my own thing. You know, stay out of the spotlight and all that. Not healthy for me.
What
And I
brings you
wonder
this
why that
evening?
is. Emily, I am Sister Madeleine, Ancilla of Clan Sombra. It is a very good pleasure to meet you.
Oh, hi. Yeah, pleasure to meet you too. How are you doing this evening?
Madeleine comes a bit closer. She smiles very broadly and just looks at her, almost studying her. She just says, "Very well. You are young or simply just standoffish as to such gatherings as this?"
I'm not really standoffish. At least I don't think I am. I mean, I used to be, but that's kind of besides the point. I just don't really go to court. You know, it's not really my whole thing. I never really, I don't really like it that much. It's it kind of, you know, I'm not really into the whole politics thing. It kind of, it's just not really what I do or what I'm good at. So I just kind of, you know, I just try and stay out of the way and not bother people, and then, you know, just kind of pop in every now and then to ensure everything's above board and they haven't done anything wrong, or someone else hasn't done something wrong. Although I've heard a lot of other people have done things wrong recently, so that's kind of why I'm here, just to check that everything's like okay, and like the city isn't on fire because the farmlands are on fire. So it's kind of a mess. So I'm just kind of making sure that everything is fine. Yeah.
Madeline's smile just grows as she's listening to, wow, something that this player might do with another character I could mention. And she just looks at her and just says, well, quite interesting. So you come and because you have to every once in a while?
Yeah, I guess you could say it's an obligation of sorts. I
I must honestly say I do not know.
Oh, that's okay too. It's I'm just making sure everything's fine, and making sure I'm not bothering anybody because I shouldn't be, because I kind of keep to myself. Also, I kind of showed up hoping that somebody else I ran into the other night would be here, but they're not, which is kind of sad. But it is what it is. I'll just find a way to find them. It's fine.
Can I
ask? Oh yeah.
Can I ask, out of curiosity, if one were to wish to converse with you when you are not gracing the courts with your presence, where might one meet you?
Oh, I'll probably go find you or something. It's fine. You'll probably end up bumping into me at some point. So, if you're looking for me or I'm looking for you, so it's fine. We can just do it kind of off the cuff. Not that I really have any of those, or I've ever had any of those. That analogy, that kind of saying doesn't really resonate with me, but there you go. Yeah, why are you so interested?
Because I can honestly say it has been 20 years since I've seen or experienced someone like you in court.
What do you mean?
Well, you being you.
Okay, that could mean a lot of things.
First of all, I have never seen eyes like yours. Something similar, but I can never see that I have seen that color and that vibrant before. Anyway.
Bishop, before we continue, just because I feel like this is pertinent, just knocked on my old aura site on what's her name with the four successes. I want to know what she's feeling.
Let's see. What color is copious awkwardness?
I was going to say, can you just tell me how she's feeling as opposed to just saying colors, because the colors are random and annoying and I don't want to look up the chart.
No, you'll deal with my random bullshit. So you, it is mottled. Let's see, got that right. It is mottled. Dark blue and lavender. So suspicious and conservative, cautious.
Okay, thank you.
And it's mottled, so she is quite confused.
Has she met Eldrick's Eye yet?
Nope.
Okay. Has she noticed him yet, or?
Oh yeah, she's definitely noticed him.
Okay. Is it cool if I P&E?
Sure.
As I guess that's just happening, just to kind of look at Madeline with a little bit of curiosity, with their very evident interest.
Okay, so you get the one success, sad face.
Well, let's
Yeah.
unless my specialty comes into play, I don't think it does.
I don't think so. What was it again? You can PM it to me if you want. Actually, I can just look up your sheet. Why am I being lazy?
No, I don't mind. It's emotions.
Okay. Oh, that does apply then.
Also, I do have a merit, but I always assume that it doesn't apply. It's the if she's trying to hide things with her emotions, I get a -1 diff.
Oh, coldly logical, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me quickly look up that. And I will double check for you.
Sorry to bog down the scene.
Yeah, that's fine. If it's in relation to yourself, yes, it absolutely counts.
Okay.
So in relation to you, I think that becomes
5 successes.
5 successes. It becomes 6 because you got the one from your specialty. So yeah, she clearly feels incredibly awkward around you. Not really sure how to approach you at all, or how to even talk to you. She doesn't really. She seems to be deliberately not talking to you just to avoid the awkwardness that would come from that. But you can also see that she feels pretty awkward talking to Madeleine as well. So that may wind up being a
So it's
kind of a break even there.
So it's like a social awkwardness, not like a fear thing.
No, yeah, it's more like she feels much more awkward around you than everybody else.
Okay.
You're literally having a deer in headlights competition, seeing who can get the brighter headlights to see which way the deer would run.
Yeah. The deer is not pleased to be here, and apparently is obligated to be here.
Oh.
So, yeah. Okay, that's an interesting story. When did that happen? Says to Madeleine.
When did... Well...
The thing with the other person.
Oh, well... It was a newcomer to the city, I remember, from quite some time ago. But that person did not look as, well, pleasing to the eyes as you. And,
Okay.
and, well, I must say your eyes are... I've never seen that color. I've seen red or a shade of yellow. Only odd member of Clan Gangrel.
You meet some very weird people then for them to have that color of eyes. I mean the gangrel makes sense. They can just make red eyes. But the rest of them that seems a bit weird.
Would that mean that you consider yourself weird?
No, I'm normal. I'm fine.
Even though you are the first person, and so far the only person that has your shade of blue eyes.
I don't think that's accurate. I think everything is fine.
Madeline actually laughs a bit.
I mean, I have oddities, but I'm normal.
Please, the two of us must get together and talk. I must insist.
I don't know. I kind of just want to, this is kind of why I don't come to court all that much, because, people start asking me questions that I don't...
There will be no questions.
Really? I feel like people have
There will
probing.
only be me enjoying your unique company.
Right. Yeah, that's,
You are unlike anyone in this city, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of it.
Okay, how do I be more like people in this city? That's if I may ask the question, because that would be preferable.
Well, I can teach you that if you wish.
I'd if I could be given a succinct answer, I'd prefer that. No offense, I don't intend it. I'm just the quicker the fix, because I don't really. I hate this.
I can
I
tell.
don't like this.
I can tell.
Yeah. Okay. Well then. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Then.
Solidron's doing some
we
mental
could-
arithmetic, just sitting at his desk because he has his heightened senses on, so he's basically eavesdropping. He's sitting there thinking as he moves from Form 37 2B for the requisition of wine to how we're going to deal with the horse manure problem back. He contemplates. So wait, you mean something? You understand and empathize with this person's situation, and yet you are physically putting them through hell. Holy crap! Clan Lasombra play hardball.
With the heightened senses, all of her rambling just kind of blurs together into some completely incomprehensible mess of words. And you're just like, why is this bitch still talking?
Madeline will just look at her and just say, well, 2 nights from now, I do have some time free. You can come by my... I will give you instructions on how to come to my home, if this is to your liking.
I don't really know you, so...
Or we can meet somewhere where you are more comfortable. That is fine.
I'll just think about it, and I'll think about it. Yeah, let's say that. That makes the most sense, I think.
I'll call you.
I'll call you. Yeah.
Madeline is just like she is trying to hold back a laugh, or like a very almost not even smug, but just like a curious, like broad smile of just like, this is interesting. Like she's just trying to hold back that. Just say, well, I shall bother you no further. Please have a very good evening.
Thank you.
See, if Solidron was leaning right now, because clearly he can only be a bitch when he's being the 80s cool guy and leaning, his response would be, my, is Torvald not enough of a fuckboy for you? Okay. But I am unfortunately not there and not leaning.
Yes. Right. So, what has been? I kind of came here to see if everything was fine. So how fine is everything? Because there's like fires outside of Odessa, and there's this big old fort being built or something, and then there's like a lot of rain. A whole lot of rain, which just seems to happen in the farms and nowhere else, which is weird to me. It just seems to rain there every day. It's weird, and everything just seems to be very, very weird. In like outside of Odessa right now, and it's kind of concerning. And I heard there were worse things inside the city, and that there was this curfew for a really long time, and then it stopped, and I didn't really have to care about that. But everything seems a bit of a mess, and I was wondering if it is, or if I'm just hearing things from silly conspiratorial commoners who don't really know what the hell they're talking about.
Well, there are a lot of unusual things happening in Odessa. So if you wanted more specific information, speak to the Prince and a few others who are involved with those situations.
I mean, I don't really want to bother the Prince with, like, a question of how has your day been? Is your city okay? Is it going to blow up? I feel like that would be kind of rude. I feel like that would be rude. I don't really want to, you know. I mean, if there was a harpy around, I'd just ask them, but they're not. So I'm kind of, you know, I'm kind of hanging in the wind here, and I don't, you know, I haven't really gotten anything. So yeah, it's not that I, you know, I wouldn't talk to you. I'm just, you know, I just prefer to, you know, do things on my own terms, or just not like be alone, just uh, uh, you know, kind of not immediately kind of a couple of people I've just met, you know, kind of fill those waters. You know what I mean?
Well, I would say speak to the sheriff. Maybe scout around with the mortals. I do know that there have been attacks with fires, and I do know that there have been unfortunate canines missing.
Oh wow, who's going missing? That's bad. I don't want to go missing.
There's been quite a few, unfortunately.
Okay. Who, where, and how? Because I don't want to go missing. I don't want to disappear. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. What? Like, where is it happening outside of Odessa?
If my research is correct, it's happening in several places. But unless you want to strictly involve yourself, I can't say much more.
Well, that's not very helpful. I kind of want to know where people are disappearing so I cannot go to those places.
Well, I can say at least Riverside seems to be a dangerous spot.
Well, I don't really go to Riverside, so that's fine. But I mean, okay, that's one. Where are the other like dozen, which you seem to be implying? Because that's not, you know, not to be rude. I just kind of want to know where the people are going missing again, so I can not go missing and just not go to those places.
For someone who does not go to court and does not involve themselves, you seem very curious.
That's because most of Odessa's population is like really not subtle in any way.
Sullivan's going to stand up at this point. He's going to saunter back to the conversation. He's going to, you know what? He's going to find a pillar. He's going to lean. It's happening. There we go. Bleeding. And he will say, I'm curious, because I haven't read any official reports from the prince's office or that have been penned by the seneschal, the sheriff, or any other official figure. How is it that people are going missing? Context?
I feel like that's kind of important. I'd like to know, just because. I mean, I don't go to Riverside, so that's fine. If it's just happening there, that's fine. But you imply it's happening in like. I know you said it was happening in several places.
He was going to raise his hand for a very non-subtle shh. Now. Shh.
Oh, am I
Thank
talking too much? I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll try not to do that again. Yeah, sorry about that.
But no, this is me asking in all seriousness as an official of the court, why is it the court is not aware of this?
And Al-Qadira says, I've been researching this privately, and I did not wish to bring anything up to the court that was not guaranteed.
You kind of see it's one of those wonderful moments. You know the what I refer to as the little spinning beach ball of death that you get on a Mac. You know when something is loading. It's like you get that look at his face where he says, "Very well, but tell me in that case if you would not mind voicing your suspicions, then, because this is a very serious topic."
Yeah, I don't like either people are going missing or not, right? I don't know. Because I don't really go to court, so I don't really know if people are going missing.
Bishop, there's another.
Okay. Sorry. I said I wouldn't do it again, and I did it again. I'm really sorry.
Madeline
I'm
just
kind of
Madeline
slapping my
looks over
badges a lot here, and I'm really really sorry.
Madeline just looks at the Saladrim and just says, "Well, I have heard that it has happened a little before I came back. It has been going on for some time. It is curious as to why the court would not know."
Yes, it's more to the fact that, as I said, there's been no official message given on this. We haven't been.
He doesn't say anything. I feel like Saladrin just stops, looks at her, and she's like, "Nope."
As she takes in, like, as she opens her mouth, the finger just flies up.
Battle specs coming in handy.
But he will say, no, this is legitimately concerning. Even if there is the misrepresentation of this fact, then it will still be enough if it is not officially dealt with to cause ripples. And at this moment in time, we can ill afford ripples. So, Al-Qadir, if you would please tell me exactly what it is you suspect, and we will move on from there.
From what my research is telling me, it's some type of almost intense slave trade at this point. And these hunters are looking for specific prey, Canaanites. I cannot say for sure what clans these Canaanites involved to, but I can say for sure they are being hunted down specifically and surgically. And that also that there may be people outside of Edessa's purview involving possible other cities, but I need to possibly follow some routes to know for sure.
So it's like outside of the domain or inside it? Because you said riverside, or is it both?
It's a mixture of both.
Oh, that's pretty bad. Okay. Well, I guess everything is not fine.
Bishop, what was the name? Because I do know it is somewhere in the depths of my blue booking. Which is the criminal organization that do a lot of slave trading? Because one of them does. Which is ironic because I'm standing, there. The Scourge, her clan, is the head of that. But then again, still, he would say, I would recommend, if this is indeed your route of investigation, speaking to the Honored Scourge. He heads the Vorstadt gang in northern Riverside, and they are the individuals who are most heavily involved in the underworld slave trade in Edessa.
Oh yeah, I know him. He's nice.
Kadir frowns at that, hearing that so just publicly that, oh yeah, he trades slaves. It's like,
But it is.
I will remind. No. Oh, sorry. Continue, Madeline.
That is slaves of the kind, no? I've not heard of anyone who would trade slaves as kindred.
Yeah, I mean he's really nice to me.
I'm not. I do not necessarily believe the Honored Scourge is himself selling individual Canaanite slaves. However, I'm pointing out that he has a finger on the slave trade, meaning if there is a trade in this, he might know where one could begin their investigation proper.
I am afraid that the investigation is something I have begun already. I hope I am not too late.
So, do you support what Master Al-Qadir has said as it pertains to the statement, the kindred in general are going missing, not from any specific clan, etc.?
Yes, but with a very, very different direction. You realize that this has happened before in this city.
Oh, context?
When I first arrived to this city, it was 100 years ago, give or take. I arrived after a year where, in a span of a week, every kindred in this city simply stopped sending letters and was nowhere to be found. And suddenly they were all gone with one unique exception. The Red Man. If he knows what happened, we are not getting answers out of him.
What is the Red Man?
Oh.
Yeah, I'll drink like full body.
Kadir nods and asks that.
You have not met him? Well,
Like,
he is.
Oh, I know him. Yeah, he's the incredibly scary, crazy guy. I ran into him once. He's what do you call them?
A Markavian.
No. It begins with an M. Oh, Methuselah, that's it. Yeah, he he kind of wanders around from what I can tell.
Very old. No one knows exactly how old. Maybe he does not know himself. I do not. Honestly, do not know.
You guys should really have like a vampire sensor so you can stop people going missing all the time, and also so you can know how old the people are. That's useful.
The Solidrin very calmly lifts up his ledger. He then puts the ledger back down.
Yeah, but that's just names.
That is names, ages, and clans, actually.
Oh, that's too. Ages. You see ages there, really. I mean, people can make up ages. Like,
Thank you.
Okay.
You know what? If this person ate food every time that they shut up when he told it, he would give them cookies. But they don't. I don't think they eat food, so he's just going to not. Very well. I'll raise this issue because it is an issue that needs to be brought to the court's attention. As much as I'm sure that your abilities are not in question, either my Lady Madeline or Master Al-Qadir, it is still something that the prince needs to be made aware of if there are kindred going missing in her domain. I believe that this technically falls under... He half closes his eyes. Technically, Chris, this is the sheriff's domain, I think. Maybe-ish. Kinda.
Yeah. Sheriff and Scourge.
Yeah. This falls into the domain of the sheriff and the Scourge. They may wish to lead these investigations.
Well, as Kadir will say, then I'll make sure as I go through my findings this evening to give him what I know.
Good. He will kind of swirl the wine in the cup that he has in his hand before he'll take a sip. And he will say, Is this red man currently in the city? Does anyone know?
No.
Well, I mean, he's a Malkavian elder. I mean, I don't think we'd really know, even if he was, to be honest. I just kind of bumped into him. He kind of walked into me, and then he started having a conversation with me. About how nice the place is and how it's really great to be here, and how it's like such a shame it's kind of all fallen apart and decayed. And I'm like, why? Is there a problem? And he was like, yeah, it's gotten really filthy around here, and I didn't really know what he's talking about because I mean, it's, you know, where I live, it's dirty. It's like an outlying village. It's not. I mean, the city's dirty. This place is dirty. I don't really know what he's talking about unless the city used to be cleaner before. But yeah, apparently he thought everything was kind of falling to pieces, and that
You may be right.
yeah, and he said something about how the ashes of the past are going to walk back into the city or something. I can't really remember all of it. It was fly back in, breeze back in, something like that. But basically, something from the past is going to come back here, and apparently it's going to be bad. Unfortunately, I'm not in the walls, so I don't really need to care. I mean, I do, but I'm not saying like I just abandoned you guys because I wouldn't. But I mean, it is like I would be less affected, I think. Maybe he wanted me to tell you guys because he's paranoid, because he's an Arcadian old guy. I don't know. I just had that conversation with him. It was a very strange conversation. There was you know, he was oh yeah, and he was covered in blood as well. I should probably mention that. That's what's called the Red Man. He's covered in blood most of the time. That's weird. I think I don't really want to know how he does that. I'm hoping
it is less violent and less
I mean, does he bleed?
Gruesome than most people think.
Yeah, does he have like stigmata or something? Because I know some Malkavians have that. I know I've had that in the past. That was strange. Yeah, it hasn't happened.
Not that I saw. but I have seen him once. Much
Yeah, I
younger.
don't. He makes me a bit. I mean, he's old, but he makes me sketchy because I don't really want to know how he does that. Like, does he hurt people?
I
I don't
can
really
tell
want him to be hurting people.
When I saw him do it, he did not. He took quite little blood from a person. They did not suffer. It was small cut.
Wait, what do you mean they did not suffer? Like, did they die or something?
I said they did not suffer. It was a couple of drops, and then he made sure that the wounds were small and could heal easily. They could hold it,
Okay.
meaning that they did not bleed more than a couple of, well, but
And
10, 15 drops.
And they didn't die.
Have you known a mortal to die after bleeding, what, 15 drops of blood?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
No, they did not die. They
Okay.
were scared because
Yeah.
they did not know what this person was doing. But no, they were frightened, of course, but they did not suffer. No, and they did not die.
Okay. That's good. That makes me a bit more at ease around him when he shows up. I mean, he's only showed up to my place once, but yeah,
He showed up to your place once?
not my place. You know, where I kind of walk around. You know, let's just out.
Ah, okay.
And then he showed up, and I'm like, "Hey, you're weird." And he's like, "Same." And I was and then we had a talk that was, well, very strange, and that whole thing happened. Although I'm a bit sad to hear that everything is not fine in the city. That is bad. If you wanna get in touch with me, I guess, like, leave a message at the Central Market, like by a tea house or something. You know, that one tea house.
I know the place.
You know, yeah, the one where you can eat and drink even though you're not supposed to be able to do that. I like that place. That's nice. I work there sometimes. It's nice. And I kind of do errands for people. So, you know, if you need a small thing that needs doing, I don't mind doing it. Just like try and, you know, don't make me paranoid by saying meet in this undisclosed location in the middle of an alley. Like, try and, you know, be nice about it. And maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't.
I will do my very best not to
I
make a request that sounds suspicious.
Yeah, I mainly just help my you know, my people out. No, I don't really do it for like other clans and stuff, but if you got something, you know, that I might actually want, then maybe we can talk in a safe place that is not one of your havens or an alleyway or a basement or in your domain.
Perhaps the tea house?
I'd scratch that, never mind.
That does remind me, and yes, leaning Solidrin is still leaning. I do need to apply to the prince for an increase in my own domain. After all, since I was allotted, quite a lot more accolades have fallen on me, and there's so much room in the Jewish quarter. Continue.
The Jewish quarter. I don't really know much about the Jewish quarter. I'll leave you to it. Anyway, I've kind of gotten what I came for. No, that makes it sound rude. I didn't really mean to do that. What I meant to say is that I'm kind of happy with how everything's gone, which is not entirely true. But you know, now I know I should be concerned, which is good, I guess. And yeah, that was kind of why I came here. So yeah, yeah. Thank you for having me, Keeper of Elysium, and Good night, everybody. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go.
May moonlight forever find your footsteps, young one.
Oh, right. Actually, about the moonlight. Yeah. Have you ever gotten a sense that something really weird's gonna happen?
I contemplate the fact I have oracular ability on my sheet. Yes.
Yeah, I would. How to say it? Make sure all your offerings are in order, just in case.
What do you mean?
I don't really know. It kind of makes my blood turn, which is bad. You don't want someone like my blood turning. When I get nervous, you don't want to be around. But
Thank you for the warning.
yeah. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen right now. That's kind of the problem. I don't really know when it's gonna happen, but something's gonna happen. Yeah. Sometimes my blood kind of what did I kind of say? It kind of whirls a little bit like something old. I don't know, something. I don't know. I feel like something's heading this way. I don't really know what it is, but it doesn't make me feel very good. But it feels familiar, which is strange because I haven't really been here that long.
Madeline looks quite intently at her.
I would just make sure that when you go out at night, you leave a little something behind just in case. I mean, for whatever might happen to come this way. It's weird. Yeah, I almost forgot to tell you guys that. That was strange, huh? Although it's not really
I
what
can't
I came here
imagine
for.
that would ever happen to someone like you.
Well, I mean, it's not what I came here for, so I guess it makes sense. It slipped my mind. But I mean, I just think considering that you guys have, I guess now that you show me why I should be concerned, I guess I should return the favor, right?
Bishop, he's going to reach over and he's going to offer to shake her hand.
She very slowly shakes it with a lot of awkwardness.
No, there's a reason. Can that I'm trying to trigger oracular ability offer because if she's seen something, maybe touching her might allow me to see something.
Okay. Oracular ability there's not really a controlled trigger to it.
No, but if you do certain things, a vision will happen, basically. So I'm going to see if she's experienced something, if there might be a strong enough pulse or residual to trip it, basically.
Okay. Well, if you touch her, you will actually kind of first roll me perception alertness, difficulty 9.
Yeah, all specs.
Mm-hmm.
Perception awareness, so that becomes difficulty 8, 7, so that will be 6. I'm going to spend a willpower on this because this could be important. That's 3 successes with a willpower spent.
Okay. Well, you can literally feel the blood turn in her fingers and her hand. It's almost like it like you can feel it curdle through her skin when she touches you. It's not like it happens immediately upon touching you. Like it's kind of still, and then when you like shake her hand proper, it curdles and you can feel it circulate. And then roll me not your perception occult. Roll me your Auspex rating.
My Auspex rating as dice.
Yes, difficulty 8.
Here's 2 dice, guys. Let's see where this goes.
Oh, you get a single success. You smell a fresh breeze. You smell a fresh breeze. Not cold, cool but warming. Carrying with it the scent of new life. As you feel the unroaching roots of flora as it begins to overgrow the Elysia and the figure whose hand you are shaking. Hey, you look. Can I let go now? This is weird.
His eyes kind of flick closed as he contemplates this. Bishop,
Something happened in it.
what's
Bye. She walks off. She runs out.
the hand grips into it. The hand grips into a vice, so she's not going anywhere. Like,
Could we not do this, please? I really don't want to do this. Ow, ow, ow.
Is the Keeper of Elysium attacking a Canite?
No, I don't really know why. We're shaking hands. Why does it hurt?
you can actually see, like, as his eyes are closed, he appears to be mentally struggling against something. Really, like you can see like his rapid eye movement and his face is grimaced.
You really shouldn't shake my hand. Should you? This stuff always happens. Why does it always happen to me? Could this not be happening right now?
Madeline will get behind her and just say, "Calm yourself."
No, do not get behind me, please. I'm going to move to the side. Oh, god damn it! Please let me go, please. I'm getting really nervous. I really don't want to do anything. I'd really just like to leave.
Please come
Bishop.
yourself.
No.
Just important question. So obviously there was something wrong with her blood, and I could feel that the blood was moving in a really weird way.
Yeah, but it stops as your vision begins to pass. Well, not really
That's
vision.
fine.
It's more like because you still see everything as it happens. It's not like you kind of dream this. It's like you just kind of smell it and see it before it kind of stops or lingers.
Okay. What he's going to do is how would I describe the weird? Okay, you described it as her blood turning, but how would Solidrin, like, has he ever experienced anything like that before? Is there any kind of role I can make, like kindred lore, anything that could denote why that was fucked up?
You can make me a canon lore check. You will get a variety of answers depending on your successes.
I mean, I'm happy with a variety of answers. It's better than no answers whatsoever. 2 successes.
Well, you get 2 answers. One is that her blood. I mean, you've never actually would have never felt this before. This is really weird. But you have heard of. You do know that the blood reacts in strange ways to certain entities or phenomena. It could be that. It could be something related to her clan. Something is happening within the clan. Something within the blood. It has to be something tied to the blood. Is likely, or it could be more. It could be more prophetic, but or it could even be diseased. You're not really entirely sure. There are a lot of different possibilities here. But it's either diseased in some way that you've never really understood before, It could relate to some sort of connection the blood has to something else, or it could be that she possesses some sort of ability tied to her blood that she has no control over yet.
Solitron's eyes snap open again, and they. When I say snap open, they practically flash gold as you know he is in a mindset right now. He says in a single curt, almost barked command to seal the doors.
No, could we not? Could we not do this? I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to be here right now. Really, this is not okay. Why are you still holding my hand, please? I don't really want to...
He will let go. He will let go of the hand as the doors are being...
Okay, ow. Okay, I'm running. She's got to make a Dex Athletics check to try and beat the guards to the door. She's actually pretty good at it, if I recall. I think it's actually quite... She has a lot of dice to this.
I was going to say, I don't know what Nabetta's dice pools are, but I'm sure you do, so to oppose the check.
Okay, she gets 3 successes, and the better is...
Madeline's actually going to try and follow her.
Okay. Well, we'll see if you can. If she makes it through the door, you'll need to make a Dex Athletics check yourself.
Got it.
Who is abusing that poor bowl?
That would be me. My apologies. The bowl will continue to suffer my wrath.
Also, all of you hear a strange murmur going on while this is all happening.
Yes, the keeper is holding somebody against their will. I think a lot of people will notice.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all heard me, but Aldrich said something about that.
Okay.
Did she make her? Did she make her roll?
Oh wow, Nabetta's actually beaten to the doors.
Damn it, Nabetta, you had one job.
Oh wow, she's actually beaten to the doors. It's like they're literally. It's like a weird sprint. It lasts like 2 seconds.
I'm gonna spend blood for dexterity.
Okay, you're gonna run out the door after this person. All right.
I have 3 successes.
Okay, well you match her pace and beat Nabetta outside of the doors. Unfortunately, you are now locked outside of Elysium. Sorry.
My apologies, ladies and gentlemen, Solodrin will say as the doors are sealed. Unfortunately, it would appear our guest has evaded me. A shame. You can see he's actively trying to think of what to say. You'll see him walk through the Elysium. He will basically move a brazier with he'll basically move it by basically moving it with his foot or kicking it or basically positioning it still burning brazier. So I'm happy to take a point or 2 of ag damage to physically move it. He won't seem to mind the searing pain. But he will say,
well, what's he moving? Sorry,
he's moving a brazier.
A brazier. Okay.
Like a thing that in which there is basically those really cool Egyptian style ones that are like basically a hollow dish in which fire is burning.
Yeah, all that'd be hot.
Yeah, and so I'm happy to make a requisite roll to not rush wreck to do it, and I'll happily take some aggravated damage to do it.
If you're just touching the metal base, it would probably be 1 ag. If you're actually
I'm not just touching the metal. I'm just touching the metal base.
Yeah, because it's like 200 plus degrees, or something like that. I don't know, but it's burning hot. So it would be probably just a single ag because it's not actually fire; it's just the heat.
That's fine.
And you will need to make a Rorschach roll for being burned, so you'll need to roll Courage Div 7.
Cool. I'm going to spend one of my last remaining willpower so I don't frenzy, because I don't want to frenzy. I currently have 2 willpower left. Wow, I'm kind of fucked with willpower, but I don't Rorschach because automatic successes, yo. He will say, "My apologies," as he draws a knife from the inner folds of his robe. But it would appear as though our friend here may have drawn the attention of some kind of entity, not necessarily of this world, that is currently eyeing this place with what I fear are very hungry eyes. Though I don't know what entity it is, I feel as though we should take her advice and make it an offering. So Solidrin, very casually, once again, because he seems to do all of this with immense casualty, he takes the knife and he drives it through the back of his hand. And he is going to bleed a single point of blood into the brazier as an offering to whatever this thing is. Because she said, give it an offering and it mightn't eat you. And I just saw something that's about to eat the Elysium. And I'd rather the Elysium not be eaten. It's where. Do you know how much money I spent to make the Elysium pretty?
Do you know how much like the other keepers and princes spent to make this Elysium? Has like, I swear to God, this Elysium probably has like tens of millions invested into it at this point.
Yes.
But
My response is I would vehemently rather it not be eaten.
yeah.
So he turns to the kindred and he will say, I would ask you all to give a suitable offering. I do not believe that this entity is in any way connected to the Braziers or to other entities as such, so it is not offering it to something that would be considered maleficent in that manner. But I would still appreciate it if you would be so kind as to make a small donation to defend the Elysium in its time of possible need. Thank you. I have given my offering.
Kadir just looks absolutely confused at this point because at this point he's not really explaining himself right now. He's at this point might as well be spouting madness because he touched a woman and he got really freaked out.
Yeah, that's basically what everyone saw.
Yeah, like
And not
Just
only
gripping
the woman, you were
You can-
keeping
you
her
can-
against the will and try to seal her in the building.
You can ask him for clarification if you'd like. That's
Yeah.
what he said.
Yeah, because at this point, Kadir will just simply say, like,
I do
what
want
proof
to
do you
actually,
have?
but before we do that, we will very briefly swap to Madeline. Madeline, what are you doing? Yeah, Amelie is just kind of jogging down the road.
Madeline is following, and she will just say, "Can I ask where you intend to run to?"
No, you can't stop following me, please.
the most casual running banter.
Very soon you will need a friend.
No,
Trust me, I know
No.
Saladrin. He will not stop. He will find you, and he will do everything he can to find you. That means that you will need someone who can defend you, or at least talk for you.
she ducks into an alley.
Madeline follows.
I expect chemistry.
I don't think she's ravenous. But that's just me.
No, she said that, or at least Liz, out of character, Liz said that she was Ravnos.
I don't think so.
Who would ever lie on a list?
Silence. But she runs into an alley. You follow. Yeah, and you see her run out of the alley.
Madeline's following.
Okay.
I just love this image of just two women just randomly running down the road. It's like you literally see the car. It's like,
The guards are
Huh?
like, "What the fuck is this?"
we're starting jogging. What's jogging? It's gonna be the
What
name.
is-
It's gonna be
Yeah.
the best
We're just doing a local marathon.
Madeline is gonna say again, like, I can help you. I can assist you if you wish. Running from this will not help, especially not with what is going on at the moment. We must assist each other to stave off this disaster that is coming towards us. You may wish to run from it, I understand. But I do not believe that any of us will be able to run from it.
She ducks into another alley. She doesn't answer you this time.
Yeah, Madeline's gonna follow her. She's got nothing to do right now. She can follow her.
Okay. As you run into the alley, you do not see Amelie.
I'm just gonna activate Auspex. I'm gonna see if she's hiding somewhere.
What's your Auspex level?
2.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary. To describe the alleyway to you, it appears to be at the back of a shop. That appears to be actually, I say maintained. It's an alley, but it's not like full of detritus. Outside are a few barrels and some very heavy looking crates that are kind of stacked up on top of each other. There is also a ladder that leans against them.
How much further was she in front of me?
Not very. You're keeping pace with her.
And okay, so she hasn't run out of this alley, so Madeline will go up onto the roof.
Okay. She doesn't appear to be up on the roof. You see nothing.
Fair enough. Madeline will. Yeah, she'll actually just sit for a moment. She'll stop. She'll sit down. Just look around. Contemplate for a moment. She is going to enter a shadow. And she is going to become, well, very hard to see.
Okay.
She's essentially going to wait to see if someone moves at a certain point.
How long are you going to wait?
Half an hour? Maybe longer? Maybe this is a good time to go back to the others?
Nope, it's just silence for half an hour. No, eventually someone will open one of the crates and she will come on out on one of them.
For a second, I was like, Abdul takes out the garbage.
Abdul, during this time, Abdul walks out of the shop. No, she pops out of one of the crates and kind of looks around and runs out of the alleyway.
Madeline's going to follow her. But
Okay.
she's going to, she's going to continue following her.
Okay, she's gonna make perception awareness on this.
I'm going to sneak.
You're gonna have to jump between shadows.
I'm currently at...
This is wit stealth, by the way, not dex stealth, because it is not reliant upon your dexterity.
Damn you!
They ain't about fancy footwork. You're in a
Two successes.
You're in amorphous shadow right now. She gets 3. Oh god. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I went into shadow for... Well, I suppose I was.
If you said you became a shadow, I assume
Ah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you notice that she notices you with her glowing eyes. And she'll dart out of the way again.
This is going to continue for some time. Madeline's going to try as best she can to follow.
Okay. Yeah, you keep running. She keeps running around the city.
But Madeline, I mean, she's not going to make it clear because she's not going to talk to her, but it's quite clear that she could have done several things to her for quite some time, but she didn't.
And she runs into another alleyway. This time she's going to split off into two figures. And both will run out and both will head off in opposite directions.
At that point, she just the shadow just stops, and then there's a mental note in Madeline, and yeah, she will stop and return to her normal form, and will begin to head back towards the Elysium.
I assume you move out of somebody's shadow before you do this.
Yes. That's what I said, assuming her normal form.
Back to the Elysium. By the time you get back to Elysium, will have been about an hour. So we're going to head back to Elysium now.
Yeah.
I will make this very clear. Sullivan says as he is done with the blood, he flicks the dagger clean and he replaces it. When I shook that girl's hand, there was something in her blood that was not natural. I'm unsure how else to phrase it at this time, though. I assure you the prince will receive my report when I'm able to write one. I then received, I will not call it a premonition, I will call it a sense of realization, because of course it was Auspex, he was perceiving something. He wasn't actually seeing the future. There's a difference. I was able to perceive something which was a great force of verdant energies that had surrounded this building, and I believe have still surrounded this building. And then I am reminded of her warning, her premonition, as it were, to give offerings so that it could be averted. Now, I believe these two instances are the same, and unknowingly or knowingly, she brought this entity here. It is an entity that has the smell of life, flowers, the raw nature that is nature, summer in all of its splendor. Now, that is all well and good. However, when it consumes this rather pleasant building that we have done rather a lot with, I would very much rather not be on the inside when it does. So, a handful of offerings would be appreciated. Needless to say, I am currently addressing the honored members of Clan Asimite and Clan Tremere. Fortunately, you know as well as I do that there are all manner of strange peculiarities in the world that are linked to magic and the blood, and that what I am saying is indeed imminently possible.
Kadir will respond, that is true, but let's just say your technique to gather this information is a bit unsettling at this point.
Considering she placed everyone in this Elysium at risk, I am merely enacting my duty as keeper. Unfortunately, the girl escaped my grasp. Witting or unwitting... Oh, sorry, continue, Emma.
No, go ahead.
Witting or unwitting, she placed us all in jeopardy, and I'm honor-bound and honor-sworn to defend this building. So this is why I'm simply asking for small offerings to be given to avert something that may be far worse.
Kadir's face looks pained, like he's hearing what you're saying, but best way to put it, it's like he's looking at you like, I don't think you realize how you looked when you did it.
Saldrin's sitting over here with them. I don't care. This is my job.
Others start moving towards the door. In particular, Ledger of Clan Cappadocian moves rather spryly for his old self.
Run, Ledger, run.
He just kind of shakes his head and says, I'll make no deals with spirits unnamed.
Aldrich will turn to join Ledger at his side.
It's mostly, well, it's not necessarily unnamed. It is, I can discount what it is, I can discount what it is not, or rather what it does not seem like. This is something that does bear investigation. I'm not asking you, the rest of you, to give blood. I'm asking the rest of you to give up a trinket, something on your person. The blood was merely to garner its attention. Also, I would remind the honoured sir, in the form of Mr. Ledger, blood is entirely non-sequential. Agreements and names are what are value to other things.
Except perhaps Clan Sedite.
Are you in?
Yeah.
Are you in?
He peers at you and then peers at the brazier.
Are you insinuating that we are attempting to garner, in some way, favor, or in some way? Are you insinuating that we are in some way wishing to gather blood, as this? No. As I said, a small trinket will suffice. I am merely trying to protect this Elysium, as is my duty.
Saladrin, someone casually tosses you a trinket.
Ooh.
It's a
Fuck you, Yasamite bitch!
Hey.
it's a
Swing and a miss. It's one of mine. Well,
Dang it. Sorry, continue. He doesn't actually scream out "fuck you, Yasamite bitch."
It's a strange looking amulet with markings in a language you don't quite understand. She says, "I can do this."
Thank you. He will drop the amulet. He'll drop the amulet into the fire, because that's what he's doing with the offerings. He's burning them, because that's how he would understand the giving of offerings. Because whenever we give offerings to Set, we burn them.
I sense no distortions here.
Maybe not currently, and I will agree with you on that. However, I sense... He contemplates his next word choices very, very carefully. He says, I sense that in her wake, chaos will come. The chaos that is bound to her and bound up in the blood. So, this is an exercise in caution. The doors can be unbarred. Nabetta, you can unbar the doors. This was an attempt to keep her here for answers. I will merely have to go to the Scourge and ask for answers, or to her honoured clan Primogen. But you are all free to leave. I am merely saying that, bear in mind, when you leave this place, you have left here without leaving an offering, which means that her prophecy may well come true.
Yeah, Nabetta just kind of... I mean, she doesn't really have much of value on her, so she literally just puts a coin into the fire and opens the doors up.
Mm-hmm.
She puts in a dinar, a single dinar.
I mean, it's better than nothing.
Mm.
An offering is an offering.
Mm. I can understand this. I'm sure the more enlightened among us can understand the preparations we must make on a nightly basis.
I have, to ease the suspicions of, and by the way, Bishop, I'm going to ask you to verify if my statement is right or wrong. I've combated the entities that have surrounded the braziers and seen the work of these infernalists made manifest before me. I've seen these entities and I have combated them. This did not feel similar to they. Is that a correct statement?
Yes, but so large to understand. It's not always easy to distinguish.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is
yeah.
a gigantic crapshoot, but again, this is how he feels it should go. So he's doing what he feels is correct.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a crapshoot. It certainly feels a lot different than the last few encounters you've had, though. This one feels distinct from the rest. Like just the way in which it happened. Like you've never felt like someone's blood literally curdle and feel it through their skin. But yes. I just want to say, I am Soy, by the way, Clan La Sombra. Pleasure to meet you all. I don't believe I've acquainted myself with many of you.
Delighted.
Apart from Ledger, of course. She kind of gestures towards Ledger as if he's a familiar face. It kind of just not really necessarily in a friendly or unfriendly fashion, just like, oh, this person I recognize.
I am led to understand that he contemplates these words very carefully because these might ring very, very interestingly. He said, I have recently taken it upon myself to study the concepts and the pretexts of the Abrahamic faiths because of my own, shall we say, area of study currently. I am led to understand that when the God of Abraham deigned it time for Pharaoh to suffer, he sent amongst his people the angel of death to claim the firstborn son from each household. And those who did not paint above the lintel and posts of their door the blood of a lamb, their families were struck that night. I get the sense that this is not dissimilar, in the sense of there is something coming that desires offering be made to its name, that desires offering be made to it. I do not think that this is a demon. I do not think that this is something of that nature. Perhaps it is a jinn or other spirit, nameless of the desert. Perhaps it is new life awoken, a spirit of spring, a great burgeoning being that we cannot fathom. However, I sense that if you leave here tonight without an offering, your name may well be recorded, or it may well remember, and it may well stalk you hitherforth from this place.
That's interesting. You mentioned spring. What actually happened in particular? I don't really, to be honest, understand. I saw what occurred, but not... I believe there is a gap in understanding between your reaction and... Not that I question it, of course, but yes. I believe there is a gap of understanding there between your reaction and what is what actually occurred.
Very well. I sensed when I touched her hand that there was something, as I said, wrong in her blood. I felt her blood curdle as if it were soured milk. It was unnatural. Then I saw in my mind's eye, or rather, I sensed an entity of great power, like a manifestation of verdant spring, flowers, vines, bursting with life. And I saw it surrounding this building, and I saw the building being consumed by it. Then many tendrils spread, and so it is that things take root. You can P and E him for the record if you'd like, or like look to see if he's suffering a derangement, because you can do that with all specs.
No, I actually know what this person's going to roll, though. They're going to roll.
I don't think you can see a derangement with aspects.
No, you wouldn't be able to see a derangement with aspects.
I'm nearly certain that one of the colors was suffering a derangement.
1 sec. It is. You can detect frenzy. You can detect confusion. You can't detect arrangements.
Oh, cool.
So if
I
someone's
don't know.
very confused, like they could be hysterical, that might show up as confusion. But it wouldn't. It would show up as confusion, not necessarily as hysteria or madness. Although frenzy is often considered madness, so yeah, she will roll. She should have an honor. Whoops. 1 sec. Sorry. She will roll that. Yeah. She gets 2 successes. So she thinks for a moment. Her eyes kind of narrow. She has a mask on, by the way, on a veil. I'll say, this does sound soured milk. You say that is. Vaguely familiar. Although I would have said soured cream, not milk. It does sound like an offering one would make to a spirit.
Yes.
To which one is a real question, but my apologies.
I was saying, after all, are there not tales of farmers who have milk curdle overnight? Are there not stories of strange footprints as dark or interesting things dance in forest clearings? There are many old stories.
I actually have heard with them. Can I try? I understand those things are true, but Kadir at this point mentally is like, your reputation is not that of a prophet, so he's more confused of you just saying these things.
I mean, I have done a lot of predictions, so it's up to you. If I don't have a reputation of a prophet, I do have a lot of visions.
You reference the shining ones. That is ominous.
The Eshu are what the Eshu are. For the record, fun fact: Eshu is the catch-all term for changeling. It's actually the term for like weird spirit changeling fae thing in the Middle East. I read that today for a completely unrelated thing.
The more you know, shooting star. Yes.
A figure begins to manifest in the. Well, a person walks into the Elysium fairly casually. So I see no grave disaster has come upon this place. That is good. Is everyone all right?
Yes, we are merely discussing the possible intervention of the Shining Ones.
He speaks that we must leave offerings to Shining Ones.
Aldrich, do you have half wisdom? Anyone can roll half wisdom to recognize the terminology.
I do have hearth wisdom.
Okay, if you have half wisdom, you may roll it.
Is it intelligence as the base stat?
Yep.
Chris?
Yeah, it's intelligence, half wisdom.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Oh, you have no idea what that means. Oh, yeah, okay.
Tell me what it means.
Holy crap, that is like the roll of the evening.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we'll start with Al-Qadir. Al-Qadir, you understand. Well, it is as Saladrin has said, the Shining One's the issue. They are one and the same. They are Westerners refer to them as the Fae.
Well, I guess on a personal note, Elkid already does stuff for the spirits and the things of the world, so he doesn't feel-
Spiritual, mythical creatures that seem to lurk both within and without the world.
personally, he does not feel compelled to do this, and he doesn't, and he's too skeptical at this point.
As for Aldrich, oh boy, yes, the Shining Ones, the Fae, the Yeshu. You've heard even more potentially, arguably dangerous terms for these creatures. Changelings, the Ananime, the firstborn. Again, strange creatures that live both within and without the world, but also tied to the seasons. Tied to various courts of winter, spring, summer, and autumn. And actually, with 6 successes, you know there is potentially one other. And you know that they are creatures of pacts, or much like spirits. In fact, many equivocate them to spirits, but these people are wrong. They are spirits, but they're also something else. Physical beings of dream. Creatures that can grant wishes, yet seem to lack or would seemingly lack the omnipotence to do so on a whim. Creatures that are known for honoring their pacts to their word, and being exceedingly ruthless when they are not met. Or, one could argue, both mischievous and ruthless. You've heard a lot of tales concerning the Fae. Usually quite tragic. They're usually Aesiops, something to teach people. They're either great uplifting tales or incredibly cautionary. There is very little middle ground. And you know that, yes, they are they're very unpredictable and extremely dangerous.
My keeper. I did not have a chance to apprehend her, given the amount of people in the street.
No, that's fine.
I did try to caution her and tell her to return, but she
Makes sense.
she did demonstrate the signature discipline, I suppose, of her blood.
It makes sense, though, does it not? He'll turn and say, someone who spends so much time alone in the wilderness to be connected to these entities. But then again, I will speak with the Primogen.
Connected?
I'm merely...
Connected to who?
The Shining Ones.
Oh yeah, Aldrich could also know, depending on the Fae, as you would probably the most common term you've heard for them, being from the West. It may make sense to burn things. It's highly dependent on the being in question. Usually, not really. But specific Fae, particularly the inanimate, burning can be quite an appealing offering, as they are beings from purely natural beings from the realm of nature, but others probably less so. In fact, for most others, it wouldn't really make sense. But for an inanimate of fire, it would.
Aldrich will hold his hands in front of him, kind of cant his head to the side a little bit, and he'll say, "Before you arrived in this city, Keeper of Elysium, Solotrin, there are many perils that we have faced. Not once have I, nor members of this Elysium of present, sought to appease our opposition. We have stood to fight. Not all of us, but those of us who may. To defend our city, to defend our way of life, to defend ourselves. So, I will not be presenting an offering this evening. However, should you call my name to fight at your side, to fight outside the walls of Elysium, outside the walls of these palace, or even if you grant permission for me to fight within them, if it is breached, I will arrive."
Your word. Oh, sorry, continue.
I just said, but I will not appease a spirit I do not know the name of, a force I don't know the name of based on premonition.
A noble statement, my lord Aldrich, and it has been heard. I grant you the right to defend the Elysium should it be required, happily, as I would hope that any good servant of the court would defend the Elysium sanctity if they were pushed to do so. As for this, he strokes his chin, clearly deep in thought, and he will say, as it stands, certain offerings have been given. That is fine. I would rather not fight an enemy I do not need to, particularly when we are already so beset on multiple sides. But it does never hurt to hedge one's bets. So, there has been no real harm done. There has been no intentional breach of the Elysium this evening. If there was one, it was unintentional and done via, I do not believe the girl could control the powers that she manifested through the blood when I gripped her hand. So, we will consider it to be null void. I will issue my report to the Prince, of course, as to this matter. More than likely consulting with the honoured members of Clan Tremere, and it would seem Clan the Sombra on this matter, so that we may move forward if other protections need to be placed upon this building, etc., to see to it the sanctity is maintained. Yes,
I look forward to your missive.
Indeed. He kind of paints his fingers together. This is a complication he was not expecting. It's like, oh, Jesus, what do I have to deal with now? Or, oh, sweet set, take the wheel. YOLO, my lord. YOLO. Yeah, he will go and he will simply sit back behind his desk. If people, as they're leaving, want to throw offerings into his brazier, they can, if they choose not to. The way he views it is, well, I have done what I consider to be my part. So, yeah.
Madeline will just go to Solodrin and just say, you know where to send missives if you require me.
Yes,
I will retire for the evening. Thank you very much for as always, a very fine soiree.
Whom is your whom was your clanmate who spoke so excellently, if I may ask?
Oh, it is the childer of my old friend Orsini. He is no longer in the city.
Wonderful. She seems to know a rather substantial amount. This could be useful. I intend to write to the Primogen, as I said, of Clan Ravno, so that we may come to some kind of understanding in terms of what has happened. But, yes, have a pleasant evening, Lady Madeline.
She has a brother. Orsini left to childer.
That brother, I regret to say, is deceased. Destroyed by the hunters many months ago.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Madeline will go over and put a hand on Sora's shoulder. I was not aware.
It is quite alright. I have had my time to grieve, as it were.
Please, Sawyer, if you need to speak, or if we need to catch up, please do not hesitate to visit me.
It is quite alright, but I appreciate the gesture, Lady Madeleine. Of course, if you ever wish to speak with me as well, you know where to find me.
Of course. Have a very good evening.
Likewise.
And Madeline will begin to leave.
And Zoya will just simply bow to Soladrin. She's not wearing a dress. She simply bows and says, "Thank you for the Elysium Keeper."
By all means, I'm sorry that we must end on such ignominious terms, but it was a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Bizarre turn of events, but fascinating. So, if nothing else, it will provide healthy conversational material for the nights to come. In any case, I wish you a pleasant evening.
Pleasant evening. My Lord Aldrich, before you depart, I've requested a meeting with certain members of your clan, the delegation whom is to be led by, I believe, Lady Chris, insert name of NPC here, please. Your spirit one, who was like all spirity. Whose name I can't remember.
Spirity. Is that Flavia?
I think it's Flavia. If not, we're going to go with Flavia.
Okay. Wait, yeah.
I have a delegation to be led by Lady Flavia. I would be delighted if you would join us for an evening's conversation in order to hash out certain details.
I shall be present.
Wonderful. Have a pleasant evening.
And you as well.
Smiling faces. And as you leave, and I would also like to thank you, Al-Qadir, for the wonderful gift in the spirit of new beginnings, no?
Daryl?
Help if I wasn't muted. Yeah, he will nod to Saladrin as he begins leaving the Elysium.
Emma, did Ledger leave? Because he was Aldrich was standing by Ledger. He'd want to say something if Ledger hadn't already left. If he has, it's whatever. I'll catch up with him later. But
He was booking it. If there's something you want to grab him to say, you're welcome to, or you can blue book it.
I'll probably blue book it.
Okay.
Instead, Aldrich's actually going to follow after Al-Qadir, and once they're outside of the palace, he'll actually catch up with him, and he'll say, "May I have a word with you?"
Kadir will look at him oddly, since he's not used to being followed, nor that of Scylla, especially that of Clan Shamir. And he will stop and say, "What do you wish to speak to me about?"
"Won't you walk with me?" And he just kind of, gestures at the road as he starts to walk slowly.
He will walk with them, though. It is very obvious that he's a bit precocious of the situation.
You speak with a wizened mind. Just one who's dealt with the spirit. You act with the conviction of someone who is wise. I should wish that we do not have to be enemies, nor do we simply have to be. He just kind of leaves that to be. Says, should very well like that perhaps you and I could be friends.
Alkadir will say plainly, with no heat or malice, or the sins of our fathers muddle our relationship.
Are we our fathers? Must we bear their sins?
They are not to be ignored.
Speak as to how we may avenge them. Perhaps avenge is the wrong word. How we may correct them.
Both are accurate. Saladrin has many predictions, but I have never heard amongst the people that he is a prophet. He is a warrior and an example of his clan, but as far as I could tell, he was struck with madness touching a woman's hand and trying to bind her with an Elysium. I find that inappropriate. Though I do understand we've been having definitely spiritual matters of a dangerous kind of recent. So I cannot truly damn his response.
Truly his response is his own. Disturbing as it may be, in whatever matter it may be, I speak only of you and I.
And he will turn to Aldrich, and he will look at him, and his face will be rather intense.
Mhm.
In my research, Aldrich, I have found connections of missing Canaan involving Clan Tremere.
That they are the perpetrators, that they have been lost as well.
No, that they may be the one hunting down canines.
Wish there was a way that I could prove to you. This is outside my realm of knowledge. You have my word that I will speak with my clan regarding this.
So, and he'll look at him, again, still serious look on his face. I only hope that in your speech that it does not confirm my suspicions. But I will not bring forth judgment until I know for sure.
You have my thanks for that. I hope that my discussions with my clan do not confirm your suspicions either. I should hope that this is the dealings of some nefarious entity come once again to see the ruin of Edessa and its inhabitants. While that may be a grim thing to say, I should much prefer that than to its denizens seeking its downfall from within its walls.
And he will nod to that.
I thank you for being honest with me, and I thank you for not presenting this to a wider audience, where speculation may be turned to something much more sinister.
Indeed it would be. So Audrin has a point, but I feel there are too many, how he would say, variable interests in this particular situation. Excuse me.
He nods. Should you wish, send a missive from me, as I am surely in your debt.
You owe me nothing, Aldrich.
Then I pledge to you that with my assistance, should you wish it, shall end whatever foul schemes are at play.
I only ask of you to do nothing at this point. Though if you notice something, keep it within your heart, and we may discuss it later.
I shall do that. I shall do. I shall do precisely then. That. Thank you again. And he hesitates for a second to offer his hand. Like, you see his arm move, like it goes up, not even a foot away from his side. But then he kind of returns it back to his side and offers a very polite bow. Like, flexes that etiquette. Flexes all that etiquette for a bow.
You see on his face, like, it's very evident, I can't believe we're kind of doing this look on his face. But he will present his hand to you for a handshake. He'll
pause. That sort of realization, that washes over his face is incredibly genuine. Yeah. He looks him in the face for a moment. Like, he doesn't meet his eye, but he looks at his face and then back down at his hand and straightens his back and slowly accepts the handshake.
He said he squeezes firmly, not in a sense of aggression, but more of, I guess, acknowledgement.
Eldrick will nod. He doesn't, his grip is not particularly strong. It's the wrinkled old man in the hands, yes. But, but he nods. He nods at the handshake. It is filled with gratitude. I almost wanted to say gracious. Is gracious the right word to say here?
Yeah, if I knew the exact term, I would say something, but I don't.
It's grateful. Grateful. It is a grateful expression. And he doesn't make it awkward. He'll he won't make the handshake super long. He doesn't roll any dice. And he returns his hands, clasps them in front of him, and gives him a nod. I shall send word for you if I learn anything new, and I should hope you will do the same.
He nods.
Have a good evening, sir.
You as well.
And unless stopped, Aldrich will turn and head in the direction of his domain.
And with that, I believe we can end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, watching. We'll see you all next time.